Are you a fan of classic Hollywood actors or compelling wartime dramas? If so, you might have a favorite from the 1960s TV series, Combat. Set against the backdrop of World War II, this show offers a gripping portrayal of the trials and tribulations faced by a group of American soldiers as they navigate the perils of war. But before we delve into the many roles and memorable moments this series has to offer, we're curious to know what classic Hollywood actor in this TV series was your favorite. Or out of the many roles in Combat, which one was your favorite? As we explore the fascinating world of Combat, we'll provide some random facts about the show that might surprise you. And after taking this nostalgic trip down memory lane, we'd love to hear your most cherished memory or personal experience related to this TV series. Share your stories and memories in the comments below, and let's relive the magic of Combat together. So, buckle up as we journey back to a time of bravery and camaraderie where the battle lines were drawn and the characters of Combat came to life, etching their names in television history. Let's get started. Combat was a popular television series that aired from 1962 to 1967. Created by Robert Pierre, the show was set during World War II and followed a group of American soldiers as they fought in Europe. The series had a unique style with a focus on the gritty, realistic portrayal of combat and the psychological toll it took on the characters. The two iconic characters of the series were Sergeant Saunders, played by Vic Morrow, and Lieutenant Hanley, played by Rick Jason. Saunders was a tough and experienced non-commissioned officer, while Hanley was the compassionate and strategic leader of their platoon. Combat was notable for its use of actual military equipment and settings, giving it an authentic feel. The show also explored the moral and ethical dilemmas faced by soldiers in wartime, making it stand out from other war-themed series of its time. It had a significant impact on popular culture, influencing subsequent war dramas and serving as a reflection of the era's collective memory of World War II. The series ran for 5 seasons and remains a classic in the annals of television history, showcasing the bravery and sacrifices of the greatest generation. Beginning with Vic Morrow, and as the series progressed, the principal cast members were outfitted with expensive custom-made fiberglass prop helmet shells to replace the heavier steel shell of the real two-piece M1 helmets with which they began the series. These lightweight helmet replicas made it easier for the actors to perform their roles and added a practical touch to the show's realism. The change in helmets allowed the actors to focus on their performances without being encumbered by the weight of the real helmets, contributing to the series' authenticity. The series was budgeted at $150,000 per episode. This significant budget allowed Combat to stand out in terms of its production values. Created by Robert Pierre in 1962, the show's commitment to realism was evident in its use of actual military equipment and settings. The investment in each episode's production contributed to the authentic feel of the series, which focused on American soldiers during World War II. The show's attention to detail, from uniforms to weapons, added to its unique style and set it apart from other war-themed series of its time. Combat remains a classic in television history, thanks in part to the significant budget allocated for each episode. Sergeant Saunders, a central character in the 1962 TV series Combat, was known as Chip in a phonographic recording sent to him by his mother and sister. This revealed a personal touch to his character, adding depth to his role as a tough and experienced non-commissioned officer. While his nickname is common for Charles, he is never referred to as Charles, Chuck, or Charlie throughout the series. This small detail provided a unique insight into Saunders' character. In another episode titled Cat and Mouse, Sergeant Saunders mentioned that he was a shoe salesman before the war, although it's unclear if this was a serious admission or a flippant remark in response to a fellow soldier's complaint about timid shoe clerks. These details, along with the show's commitment to realism and its significant budget for each episode, contributed to making Combat a classic in television history, showcasing the bravery and sacrifices of the greatest generation. In the world of television and war-themed series, Combat from 1962 stands out as a classic. This show, created by Robert Pierre, depicted the trials and tribulations of American soldiers during World War II. It gained acclaim for its realistic portrayal of combat and the psychological toll it took on the characters. The series featured iconic characters like Sergeant Saunders and Lieutenant Hanley, played by Vic Morrow and Rick Jason, respectively. One interesting tidbit about the show is that it almost had a feature film adaptation with Bruce Willis in the lead as Sergeant Chip Saunders. However, this film project never came to fruition. What sets Combat apart is its commitment to realism. The series used actual military equipment and settings, creating an authentic atmosphere. It had a significant budget per episode, which allowed for attention to detail in uniforms and weapons. This dedication to realism helped the show stand out among other war-themed series of its time. The show, despite some cast changes and behind-the-scenes challenges, remains a classic in television history, showcasing the bravery and sacrifices of the greatest generation. Combat brought an engaging and gritty portrayal of war to the small screen and left a lasting mark on the world of television. Peabody. Kirby began carrying the bar, a bipod-equipped .30-6 machine gun, early in the first season and continued throughout the run of the series. Vic Morrow and Rick Jason were essentially co-stars, and for this reason there were two sets of opening credits, some listing Morrow as the lead before Jason, and some listing Jason ahead of Morrow, although not necessarily based on which one had a larger role in a given episode. These are interesting details about the 1962 TV series Combat that highlight the unique character dynamics and production choices. Peabody. Kirby's weapon choice and the co-star billing of Morrow and Jason added depth and complexity to the show, making it a classic in television history. Sergeant Saunders' distinctive helmet cover in Combat. The TV series Combat, from 1962, created by Robert Pierre, is known for its attention to detail. One remarkable detail is the distinctive helmet that Sergeant Saunders wore throughout the series. Unlike what many viewers assumed, the cover of his helmet was not made from a cloth Marine Corps cover. Instead, it was crafted from a piece of nylon cut from a U.S. paratroopers camouflage T-5 main parachute canopy. This small but fascinating detail added to the authenticity and unique style of the show, showcasing the commitment to realism that set Combat apart from other war-themed series of its time. The series may have only spanned 5 years, but it made a significant impact during its run, delving into the challenges and experiences of American soldiers during World War II. And while the events of the war were relatively short, the show's episode count was considerably less than the number of days that passed between D-Day and the German surrender. This fact sheds light on the pacing and storytelling choices made in the series, which allowed it to explore the wartime experiences of its characters in depth. Vic Morrow, who portrayed Sergeant Chip Saunders, added another layer of association with iconic weaponry. Born on February 14, 1929, the same day as the infamous St. Valentine's Day Massacre in Chicago, he became strongly associated with the Thompson submachine gun in his role. This connection between his birth date and the historical event is an intriguing aspect of the series, making it more than just a typical war-themed show. These details, from the unique helmet cover to the episode count and Vic Morrow's birth date, highlight the depth and complexity of the 1962 TV series Combat. They contribute to its enduring status as a classic in television history, showcasing the bravery and sacrifices of the greatest generation. As we bid adieu to the captivating world of Combat that unfolded on our screens back in 1962, we invite you to take a moment to reflect on the unique connection you've forged with this iconic TV series. The intense camaraderie, the relentless battle against the backdrop of World War II, and the unforgettable characters each of us has a special place in our hearts for this timeless classic. Combat isn't just a series, it's a journey through time and emotions. It's a reminder of the sacrifices made, the valor displayed, and the bonds that transcend the chaos of war. Whether you were introduced to the show during its original run or discovered it years later, there's a shared thread that binds us all in our appreciation for this remarkable series. We encourage you to share your cherished memories, your favorite episodes, or the characters who left an indelible mark on you. Was it the unwavering leadership of Sergeant Saunders, the wit and charm of Kirby, or the unbreakable brotherhood of the squad that resonated with you the most? We'd love to hear your thoughts and anecdotes about combat and how it has impacted your life. Your unique perspective and personal connection to combat add to the rich tapestry of its legacy. Thank you for joining us in celebrating this extraordinary series and for sharing your love and memories with us. Your time and interest are truly appreciated. With warm regards,